Alright everyone, I'm going to explain this again. I've had several people message me. Of course I was on vacation, so I had like 50,000 of them to go through. It's insane. I do appreciate the news tips though. Keep them coming. I'm not complaining about it. It's just after several days, it takes a while to actually go through them all. I have a mild suggestion here. Ignore the current polling that you're seeing. Keep in mind, of course, if you're using RCP, you get a little bit of a broader picture of where the polls generally lie. Here's a couple of reasons why. Number one, you have a significant amount of political chaos going on right now. You've had the incumbent swapped out for his Veep on the Democratic side. You've had an attempted killing of the Republican candidate. Among other things. And then, of course, Kamala's a psycho, so I have a feeling that if she agrees to the 3 debates that Trump has premised, she is going to lose all 3 of them. I don't even think it'll be close. That's number one. Point number 2, you've always got static in polling, especially in a time of political upheaval. Point number 3, you've got to understand, if you look at the polls right now, match them up against 2016. And where Hillary Clinton was at in the polls, well ahead of Trump at that time. She was about 5 points ahead, 4.5 or thereabouts. Kamala Harris is arguably roughly breaking even with Donald Trump at the moment in the general election, and is behind in several of the swing states. He is polling well ahead by millions of voters, by the way, when you look at the numbers of where he was in 2016. I see people getting black-pilled and saying, oh my god, they're going to rig it for Kamala Harris. 2020 was hard enough, and that was when Biden was legit ahead by about 7 points on Election Day. I don't think that Kamala's likely to get anywhere close to that. I think that Kamala will sink like a rock the second she's exposed to the public. What you're seeing now is a combination of push polling, number one, so illegitimate polls that are being aggregated anyway, because, you know, the polling firm simply wants Kamala to win. They're politically connected. It cannot be helped. This is an automatic thing. We've seen it before. It's just like Trafalgar. Trafalgar polling, which shows Trump up a few points, they tend to side with the Republican Party in a partisan sense. They're oversampling Republicans. Likewise, if you look at New York Times, Siena, of course Kamala Harris is going to be a few points ahead. There's a couple points of wiggle room in there. That's number one. So you've got bias within the polling. You've got political chaos, bias within the polling, and the fact that Donald Trump is still at least matching in these polls, even in the push polls, generally speaking, is actually really, really good for him. I'm not particularly concerned with Kamala Harris' run. I realize that she's polling better than Biden, but once she gets out into the public eye, once she gets tied to the administration, and Trump knows to do this, I mean, it's a no-brainer, I think that slight lead dissipates into a slight disadvantage. If Trump is ahead at all on Election Day, he can't help but win. They're not going to have enough ballot printers going brrr in order to overcome that. We're talking about millions and millions of voters just in the competitive states. By the way, Virginia is probably a lost cause for Kamala Harris at this point. She's mainly targeting Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Minnesota. Those are the states that she's going all in on. Trump's going for Pennsylvania, but he's also trying to pick off Virginia. He's probably got Nevada. That one's probably in the bag. And they're trying to create plausible deniability to steal the election. I don't know that they're going to have the kind of polling, based on what we've seen over the last few months. Things have gone terribly wrong for them. They may show bravado on the outside and say, well, Kamala's got it in the bag. The American people are going to reject Orange Man. That bravado is to demoralize you, just to be clear. I think that most people already know this. When I look at the polling numbers, I say, well, compared to 2016, this is real easy. 2016, Hillary Clinton's ahead by what? 4.5 at this point in the race, about the same on Election Day. It looked like a lost cause now, didn't it? People got really, really nervous. Kamala's barely got a point on him, and that's only in some polls. In some polls, he's ahead. Don't worry about it so much. What you need to do is get a reluctant friend to go vote. Preferably early. There's probably early voting in your state. You get a couple of weeks or something like that. You know, you get a friend who's like, well, yeah, man, I don't know, I feel a little under the weather. Okay, if you feel better tomorrow, then come to the polls. Go and harvest a ballot. Go and volunteer with Scott Presler or something like that. He's heavily targeting places like Pennsylvania. If you can pick off Pennsylvania, you've got the election. If you pick off Virginia with Kamala's track record, with Tim Walz's record especially, with veterans, with people militarily related, that's a disproportionate vote in that particular state. It's almost like Kamala said, well, Minnesota and Michigan are so important, you know, we might be able to get Virginia or something like that. I don't think that she can. I think that she's going to lose probably all of the competitive states at this point. Just watch, wait and see. We have to wait for the debates. There will be at least one of them. Trump agreed to the ABC debate, of course, and so that one's apparently set in stone. We're waiting to see whether the other two happen. One would be on Fox. I don't know why he bothered to even peg him. Hell, I would get another CNN debate. They actually did a pretty good job. They were fairly even-handed. Will they fawn more over Kamala than over Biden? Yes, of course. Because they don't want to be seen as sexist or racist or anything like that. And Biden's an old white fart, basically. And so he doesn't matter as much. Would it be relatively even-handed? Yeah, it'd be probably all right. I'd probably try to live react to it now that I'm on the U.S. time zone. But ignore the polls for right now. For the next couple of weeks, the polls are fundamentally useless. Wait until September. We've had a massive shakeup in U.S. politics, an attempted assassination on one side and the swapping out of the incumbent on the other side. The polls are useless right now. If anything, again, it still is advantage Trump. If he's only behind by a point on election day, I would favor him heavily to win the election. But I suspect that that will change. I suspect that it will become more lopsided as things move on. We've got to wait until the debates. We're not sure exactly how many of them there will be. It's a big problem. I'm trying to do political analysis here. Can you people calm down? Oh wait, if you calm down and it's a boring election like a Bush v. Kerry or something like that, ain't nobody watching those debates. Oh, two dudes droning on for 90 minutes. I'd rather watch grass grow. That's about all. Peace out.